The coffee Susie poured him was fresh, though not as strong as he'd have preferred. He settled in his chair across the desk from the sheriff and asked just who it was who wanted to dissolve a partnership. "It's not like that this time," Radburn said, and stopped himself. "Except, come to think of it, it is." "Oh, how's that?" "A wife wants you to kill her husband," he said. "So it's a partnership, but of the domestic persuasion." "And she wants me?" "Well, not specifically, since she don't know you. At least I hope she doesn't, 'cause that would be a deal-breaker, wouldn't it? She's expecting a dead-eyed assassin, and who shows up but her buddy Doak from the Tuesday night bowling league? It wouldn't work. Her name's Lisa Otterbein, but her maiden name's Yarrow, and that's what she uses professionally, and I suspect she'll go back to it altogether once you kill George Otterbein for her. And we know she wants me to do this because 3 nights ago she sat down across a table from a fella named Richard Lyle Gonson. Know him?" "I don't think so." "If you were looking to hire a hitman, he'd be a natural to sit across the table from. Not because you think he'd take the job, but because he'd probably know somebody who would, or somebody who'd know somebody." "He's not Reverend R.L. Gonson, the Congregationalist minister?" Radburn shook his head.
"He's done, as the saying goes, a little of this and a little of that. He mostly gets away with it, but he's done a few bids, one of them federal. He's getting on for 10 years since the last time he got out."
"He's behaving himself?"
"Does the bear give up a lifelong habit of sylvan defecation? Best he can do is learn to cover it up afterward. Even so, I had him for receiving last year, right around the end of hurricane season."
"Oh, but you couldn't make it stick?"
"He had something to trade."
"Ah."
That's one way to cover up the pile in the woods. We got the chance to put away somebody who'd been giving us a lot more grief than Mr. Gonson ever did. He saw the wisdom of having friends in law enforcement. So when Lisa let him know what she wanted, instead of telling her to go shit in her hat or in the woods, he said he knew the very man to call."
"And that man turned out to be you?"
"It did. Neither of those names ring a bell? George Otterbein? Lisa Yarrow Otterbein?"
He shook his head.
"George's father started a restaurant supply business. George inherited it and married money. Made a good thing of the business and invested some of the proceeds in local real estate. Rental properties mostly, bringing in more money to go with the money he's already got."
"I'm guessing Lisa's a second wife."
"You New Yorkers, nothing gets past you. First wife was in one of those 50-car chain pile-ups on 41. Foggy morning, and one guy stops short and everybody hits him. Airbag deployed and Joe was unhurt, but somebody insisted she go to the hospital as a precaution. And while they were checking her, they found something they didn't like. And so they checked some more, and she had cancer cells in everything but her hair."
"Jesus."
2 months later, she was gone. No symptoms before the accident, and it's hard not to think that if they hadn't found it, she'd still be alive today. Which is ridiculous, but still.
Nothing to say to that. Doak sipped his coffee.
You know the cattle barren on Camp Road, a mile or so north of Lee?"
"I've passed it. Never stopped."
"That'd be the best policy if you chanced to be a vegetarian. Just hold your breath and drive on by. Steak and seafood's what they've got on offer, and the steak's dry-aged prime Angus beef. After he buried Joe, George got in the habit of taking his dinners at the barren. He was partial to their bone-in ribeye, which I can recommend, assuming you're not a vegetarian."
"I'll have to try it."
You might want to wait a couple weeks. All goes well, they'll have to find somebody new to show you to your table."
"Lisa the hostess?"
"She showed George to his table every night, and I guess that wasn't all she showed him, and as soon as Joe was 6 months in the ground, they went and got married. He'd had 3 children with Joe, 2 girls and a boy, and the oldest was the same age as Lisa. There's different ways kids will react to that sort of thing.